Okay, g'day guys, welcome back. Doing a bit of a guide today, but before I start, make sure if you're new here, you collect the Dragonstone in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Today's guide is all about the types. Now I know for most it's pretty sort of self-explanatory, especially with the kind of type advantage, type disadvantage kind of situation. But a few things that I don't think everyone is quite aware of, but if you are, that's fine. But just this stuff on the left here, like how the potential system works with each type. So I'm going to get stuck in. The STR and Tech types at 55% both activate crit only at level 5. They don't get any additional or dodge. However, that's what this kind of row down here is for. Even though they get crit at 55%, that then means that they cannot get crit skill orbs in the bronze or silver slot. So what you can do then is use bronze or silver additional or dodge to activate those perks that they don't get at 55%, so that your 55% unit is a little bit more versatile. Physical and AGL have additional, so AA it's also called, as their default type. Obviously that means they can't use bronze or silver AA skill orbs, so to activate their crit you can use that in the bronze or silver slot at 55%, or dodge if you so choose. And Int is the kind of the run to the litter, I guess, that gets 5 dodge. Int units get a bit of slack for that, but obviously that means they can't use bronze or silver skill orbs for dodge, so activating additional or crit, which kind of can hamper them a little bit. So for something like in LR Namek Goku, for example, I had him at 55% prior to the 7-year anniversary. I had a bronze additional level 2 and a silver crit level 3, so he actually had all 3 perks activated at level at 55%, but it took a bronze and a silver one of each to get that happening. Obviously you can do that through the other types for the other respective skill perks that they don't activate at 55%. Now probably a lesser known fact for the types and the difference between them is the stats that they get at Rainbow. Now at 55%, all of them boost just 2,000 across the board for each stat. However, to go with I'm just going to call these two the crit types, these two the additional types, just for a little bit of a convenience. STR has more attack, basic health, and then less defense. As you can tell, there's 400 stats that kind of get boosted on one and then taken from another. So the STR is kind of less defensive, more attacking. Tech is more attacking, less health. So your crit types still have more attack, so it actually ties in very well to the fact that they've got crit by default. It's just that, not that the tech is tankier, it just has a little bit more health, whereas the STR specifically is a little bit more of a glass cannon kind of type. On the AA side of things, you've got more health on the physical side and less defense, just standard kind of 5,000 attack, which is kind of a pretty balanced trade-off. Not my favorite, unfortunately, but I mean, it's fine. You're not going to really notice all this too much, but on the AGL side of things, you've got standard attack, less HP, and more defense. So again, it kind of balances out. However, I think that favors the AGL a little bit more. So if you got a stacking unit, so for example, AGL LR Gohan, who transforms into Super Saiyan 2 if you ever happen to get that active skill. He has, if at 55%, he'll be able to stack twice by at 55% if you're lucky enough, which means his defense will just climb higher and higher because he's got more defense at Rainbow. So there is that kind of little bit of a thing, and then obviously Int is just standard across the board. This is going to be a short video, guys. It's just a little bit of a fun fact kind of video. This image will be posted on my community tab, on the Reddit, on the Twitter, on my Instagram, all the rest, so you can find it and keep it if you ever want to refer to it. Just to go through the type disadvantage and advantage section here, this is probably the most commonly known. AGL is type advantage over STR, STR over physical, physical over Int over Tech, Tech over AGL, for example. Type advantage is basically on an offensive from an offensive point of view. That's what super effective damage is. So if you've got a unit like, I don't know, most Gogeta units have super effective against all types. It means that they will attack all types as if they are an AGL unit attacking STR, for example. So if it is an AGL unit, like your AGL Super Saiyan Gogeta that transforms into Super Saiyan Blue, he will obviously have type advantage over STR, but he'll do that same amount of damage, give or take a little bit, over a physical, int, tech, and AGL unit. He doesn't care. He'll have super effective against all types damage. These types here have reduced damage when being attacked by their corresponding type on the right there, which is what we call guard typically. A good example of that is Tech Gohan Teen, who transforms into Ultimate Gohan. He takes damage from STR, physical, and tech as if he'd be taking damage from AGL. That's why you see the red arrow pointing down every time he takes damage, and that's why he has such ridiculously good defense, other than the fact that he stacks. But it means that no unit in the game essentially can really hit him for type advantage damage. Type disadvantage is obviously the other side of things. STR takes more damage from AGL than it would any other type, and it'll deal less damage when attacking AGL unit versus attacking any other types. The only kind of thing that I haven't really shown on this is you get units like, let's say LR, STR, UI Goku, for example. His super attack effect is disables enemies guard. He's an STR unit, which means he technically should be doing less damage when attacking an AGL unit. He will deal the same damage versus an AGL unit as he would any of the other. So it's not, except for physical. Obviously he has type advantage over physical, but disabling enemies guard means that he's just doing neutral damage. So he attacks AGL units as if he would an STR, an int, or a tech unit. Still has type advantage, just doesn't have type disadvantage over AGL. So keep that in mind. Obviously, all this information on screen here is in general. I've given a few examples there of some exceptions. There are more exceptions. If you have any if you're curious about any exceptions or ask any questions, let us know in the comments below. There are some also when it comes to the skill orb exceptions here, like how I said that you can't get your 55% perk in the bronze or silver slot. There are also exceptions to that. They're usually like unit specific skill orbs. For example, there's the skill orb event for Goku and Vegeta that came out during the 7-year anniversary, which allows silver perks to be activated in units that would otherwise not be able to equip them. So for example, the physical LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta can actually have silver additional. So prior to that, the maximum of any perk was 27, I believe. It's now 30. So that's an example there. The stats here as well are only shown for the summonable SSR units. There are several exceptions to that, and it also isn't applicable to any free-to-play units as well. The specific units have abilities that, I've already gone through that. That kind of exceptions to this rule here. But that's just a kind of a little bit of a fun guide, sort of fun fact video. I know most of this information is known by most veteran players. For a lot of newer players, they may not know that you can't get bronze or silver crit skill orbs for your tech and STR, for example. So now you know. And the stat thing I feel like is lesser known across most players. But again, if you did know it, that's great. But I just wanted to have this out there on my channel so that anyone who is curious can come across it. I'm going to be doing more guides over time. If you have any ideas for things that you would like to know more about, or guides that you think that most players could probably do with knowing in general, let me know in the comments below and I'll more than likely get to it. I want to have a guide for as many things as possible on my channel, just so that newer players can come across and go, oh sweet, I didn't know that, now I do. And if I'm ever unsure again, I can just refer back to this image or this video. If you did watch all the way through, thank you very much. Like I said, collect that dragon stone in the bottom right hand corner. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks then. Bye.